Check it out, Vanilla Thunder in the house. Dusted, ready for bed, blood full of bars flowing from its head. Got hair flowing and long, beats dropping jokes and songs of bomb. Tired, kinda like milk that's expired. Vanilla Thunder from the plains of Texas. Vanilla Thunder is coming.
Oh, don't say that, Chris. I've had enough of the technical issues. It's me, it's your boy Ubi. It is Friday. And please give the man some love, and especially some steak. Let's kill that out. Actually, I had steak yesterday. Who all's in the chat? We got Chris. We have Bill, who was here super early. Awesome. Tom F. and Brian. That's a good start. I'm good with that. Out shopping. So you finally clear the credit card off so you can actually shop something? Car seems a little low. That's a little better. That's a little better. Guess we should probably tune the guitar. Not bad, just a touch sharp on most of these. The old G being about 1,000 cents high. I broke my rule. I actually tuned the guitar. Sorry, guys. You know me. Normally I don't tune. I don't practice. What is that? It's only illegal if you get caught? How does that sound today? Sounds kind of scooped. I like that one a lot. What am I using? That'll do. Throw some stuff on it. Let's get the backing track, see what it sounds like. Whoops. It's questionable in California. Getting that scratchiness again. That's really starting to piss me off. C minor, not G minor. Hey, Ubi. Wake up, dude. Didn't warm up, so. Thanks for stopping by, Tom. Appreciate it. Faded on away there. Like any chance of me playing well. No worries, BBM. We know that you are getting prepped up for what you've got going on later. Hey, Tooth, how you doing? I'll just take a moment to breathe. We made it through the week. It's a Friday. And I did promise story time today. So let's find a slower paced track. And we'll do story time. The story of Ubi and Brandy. So once upon a time, there was a boy. Hard to believe that at one point in time I was a boy. Hey, Lamb, how you doing? Drop a link for it, Tim. I just made you a mod. I know what we're missing. Other than Ubi telling the story he promised he was telling. A bit of that in there. With the snapping noise. So I said I was going to tell the story of Brandy and I, our first encounter, our first meeting was in junior high. Back in 1980 something. So we were in a junior high. It was a large junior high. It's actually more like a college campus. Multiple buildings. In the morning, I'd hang out with my friends. My best friends were Brian and Ben at the time. Brian played in the band, so he hung out outside of the band hall because he wanted to drop off his he played clarinet or cornet, and he wanted to drop off his instrument before school, so we'd hang out, wait for the doors to open. He was. I wasn't at the time. Brandy was in orchestra, I believe. She played violin. And I got to tell you this, I noticed her immediately. Because that was a legs band, and she was the only girl in all of junior high school that wore high heels. Hey man, back in the day it was called the junior high. Calhoun Junior High specifically in Denton, Texas. I got 2 packages on the way to me myself, Brian. One's getting here today. Anyways, we're hanging out outside of the band hall one day. And they had a raised platform so that a truck can pull up to help load up all the stools and all that if they were going to a competition. So we're standing on the raised platform. I'm leaning up against a pole. And she's kind of milling about the group that we're all together. Think of the beautiful angel. Nice ending to that. Kind of wish that track would go on for a little longer. So we're sitting all around. I'm leaning up against the pole. And I told a joke that was very off-colored, very not appropriate for mixed company. And Brandy took exception to it. And she just didn't do much. She shoved me. You know. And you would think there's not much a... 3.5 foot tall, 80-pound girl could do to push a big guy. I was already 6 foot tall at the time. But I was leaning fully against the pole like this, and that was my only support. So when she pushed me, she actually pushed me off the band platform. You were not 5 foot tall at the time of the story. And so I fell off of this raised platform. And arms went out to take the bump. And this hand went through a glass bottle that was there. Yeah, if you say so, sweetheart. And you can still kind of see some of the scarring on my hand. She literally gave me 5 scars the first day I met her. I mean, if Roy demands it, you got to do it, right? So yes, that little thing left a permanent lasting mark upon me. No worries. I am not okay. Because the story of how we got together is even funnier. It's in G minor, right? Man, I hear you, Bill. Bill, we have done everything humanly possible to tear our relationship apart. God has done everything divinely possible to keep it together. Yeah, you do, Birdman. Nice, CD. Hey, Mama R keeps Bill honest. That she is. So the we just ripped through a whole track there and I didn't even think about it. The whole Bull Bull Shannon from Night Court. That's what I always think about. I need to get you a bailiff costume for a stream one day. See, I have a feeling with all the characters that Brian plays, Brandy, he would be a great target for an author because it sounds like he's got a lot of voices going on in the head up there. I don't have to find your size, Bill. Brandy's a seamstress. She sews. We custom make. Had the high E catch on a fret back there. Trying to see if one of my frets are popped up a bit or if it was just a lucky. No, they're all fine. It just caught perfectly on the edge of one of the ball ends. There's no gap underneath any of them. I thought maybe I'd gotten a fret that had popped up a touch. Hey, Keith, what's up? More story time. Should we? Does everybody want to hear the second meeting? The story of the second meeting? Looks like it. What do you got here? C minor. So, Brandy was interested in joining the computer club. I was already established in the computer club. Surprise, surprise, huh? Projector, yeah. I actually have an idea. I have an interesting idea. If everyone would like to indulge me. Give me just a moment. I have to set something up. We will get back to that track because I was definitely getting into it. Oh, I've already got this up. That explains it. Brandy, I'm sending you a link. I'm going to bring Brandy on and let her tell the story herself. Here to join me, sweetheart. You will unfortunately have to kill the TV. You can borrow Bill's 380 and kill the TV with it. There she is. Give me just a moment. I need to swap to that. I need to push that button. Oh no, there's no Ubi. Where is the Ubi? It's a black screen. Here, I'll put something pretty up on the screen. Oh, you've already joined, sweetheart. I just hadn't added you to the stream. You will need to kill the TV though. It's coming through. Can you hear me, Brandy? If you can't hear me, you've got your microphone. You're set up to the wrong thing. Oh, I know what the problem is. Hang on. I know what the problem is. I screwed it up. There's that. One moment. Now you should be able to hear me. Okay, you should be able to hear me now, Brandy. You're here and on. Check your audio source, Brandy. Minor technical difficulties. All right, one moment. I will go fix her problem. You're probably just going to have to wait just a second.
Hold on. You Jane?
Going to take a moment for her to get the sound sorted over there. In the meantime, let me figure out why she can't hear me.
Yep. Don't worry.
There we go.
For long.
Okay, we can hear you fine. Let me see if I can figure out why you can't hear me.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you fine.
Okay. Well, you can hear me. I can't hear you.
I know you can't hear me.
All right. Well, at any rate, so basically, I walk into computer club and I'm nervous because I don't know anybody in the room, or at least I don't think I do. And that always puts me on edge because I'm an extroverted introvert. I'm pretty reserved in social situations until I get a feel for politics, and then I can navigate. So I'm looking around the room, hoping that I see somebody, not expecting to, and I see him. And even though we've only met once, and he was funny, and he made me laugh, and he made me feel comfortable. And so I'm like, okay, this guy, I know this guy, everything will be okay. So I walk in and I sit down on a computer that's directly across from him. And my family, as insane as this may sound, my family's way of letting people know that they liked them or approved of them was to make fun of them and harass them and be a total ass to them. So naturally, that's exactly what I start doing to Randy, is I'm harassing him, I'm making fun of him, I'm picking at him, and he looks up and he looks at me and he goes, "Oh, it's you." And I'm like, I didn't know if that was, oh, it's a good you, or, oh, it's you. But I decided to assume that it's a good thing. So like I said, I start harassing him and kind of making fun of him and everything on him. And he looks up and he smiles at me, or at least that's what I thought happened. What's actually actually happening is that there's somebody behind me, a computer behind him. The monitor is facing Randy. It's my back is to it. And his friend is doing some weird crap on the computer, and then it made Randy laugh. But I thought the smile was for me, so that made everything copacetic. I was okay. And so, you know, I'm harassing him throughout the entire computer club. And we get up and we're walking out toward the front of the junior high, where his mom was going to pick him up. Now, I was a latchkey kid. My mom wasn't going to be home until 6. I had nowhere to be, nowhere to go, and no time limit. So I'm just hanging out with him until his mom gets there, harassing him, talking to him, whatever. And his mom pulls up, and he looks at me and goes, "Do you want to ride home?" And my jaw just about drops to the floor, because if I had offered somebody a ride home without consulting my mother first, I would have been slapped into the middle of the next week. That would not have flown in my household. She would not have hesitated to embarrass and humiliate me for the person that I invited. She would have gone off on me. And I looked at him and said, "Your mom's going to be okay with that?" And he's like, "Yeah, why wouldn't she be?" Like, it was weird to be upset about somebody basically turning you into their personal chauffeur. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, I decided to risk it. Because it was an hour, and it was a mile and a half walk from the school to my house. It was a good distance. And so I get in the car, and I'm not sure what to expect. I'm not sure what this guy is going to do. And at all. And he doesn't do anything. He doesn't attempt to put his hands anywhere. He doesn't attempt to put anything anywhere. And I'm like, okay, all right. Well, we get out. He doesn't even try to kiss me goodbye. It's just, see ya. Okay. But the thing is, before I met him the second time, I felt like this sense of urgency in my life. That there was something I was supposed to do that I needed to get done, and it never felt like it was getting done. And I didn't know what that thing was, but I knew it was important. And on the day that I met him the second time, after we got out, that feeling went away. And I knew I had spent the entire summer praying that God would let me marry Matt Anderson, the boy that I had a crush on in my first class. Just praying. 6 weeks before we ended school, I changed her ever so slightly, and it was, okay, well, if Matt's not the guy, please just let me know that there is a guy, so that I know that there's somebody out there who loves me and who's going to be there for me. And that was how I prayed the rest of the 6 weeks. Was, okay, just let me know, even if it's somebody I've already met, let me know. And that day, I felt like that was God's answer to my prayer. And this is the guy. And I was so confident of that I went home, and we were always so broke. I had gotten a job when I was 14. I started working when I was picking weeds for the neighbor at 10 cents a week. I quickly figured out that there was a ceiling on my income, and kind of used that over different income sources for videos. So I had a formal job by the age of 12 at babysitting church. You know, money was always tight, and I was earning my own money to get school supplies and clothes. And I went home and took the last of my money, $15, walked up to 7-Eleven, bought 3 bridal magazines, because I knew I had a wedding to plan. And that's our second meeting. So that was how it went.
True story. I've heard it 3 times, it's not changed. I gotta fix it so she can hear me. That would make it a lot easier.
Yeah, it would make it a lot easier if we were just in the same room and I could actually hear you, but yeah. So then every day, okay, so at the start of that school year, I had applied to be the gifted and talented program, but they had turned me down because my math scores weren't high enough, even though my English scores were at the top of the national assessment. I was in the 99th percentile as far as my English score. But I wasn't sciencey enough and mathy enough for their case, so I didn't put in the gifted and talented program right away. So I went to the administration and I fought for that. I was like, oh no, you're not locking me out of that. I know I'm bright enough to be in this program and you're not going to ignore me. So I fought to get switched to the gifted and talented program. It took me 3 weeks, which was a week after Randy and I met again at Computer Club. But that meant that my lunch period finished along with it. And that's who I ended up standing behind in line that day, my first day at the new lunch period. That guy, Randy. And so he turned around and he noticed me and he started talking to me, and we get to the end of the line, and I was so, like I said, super reserved around people I didn't know. And I wasn't going to impose on anybody. I wasn't going to ask for any favors. And so I started to walk off to find myself a table, not assuming that he would want me to sit with him. He looks at me and goes, you want to come sit with me? And of course, that was a lifeline. I was like, hell yes. But I didn't say how much. I said, yes. So we go over there, we're sitting down, and his 2 guy friends are looking at me and looking at Randy. They don't say anything, but if I look back at it, I'm pretty sure the answer was, the look they were giving him was, what the heck, dude? You brought over an alien. But Randy didn't ever budge. It was like, nope, she belongs here. This is her space now. Kind of like you bring home a cat and the cat takes over. Just, that's how it is. And so every day at lunch, he would buy me, he'd buy Skittles. He wouldn't say they were for me. He would buy Skittles, and he would dispense them a handful at a time. I never had any extra money. I was on the, reduced lunch plan. So you got what you got and whatever was served that day. And those little handfuls of Skittles were the only extra thing I got. But they always came from him, and he gave them to me a handful at a time.
So that's why I'm with her. She's very food motivated. It's not because of anything about me. She's just very food motivated. Pity you can't hear me. That's actually nice. She can't hear anything I say.
I'll have to go back through the replay to make sure he didn't say anything wrong. But at any rate, so yeah, in 3 months, we developed a friendship. And around November, there was a guy that I met named Clint Majors, and I sort of started to develop a little bit of a crush on him. And Randy was like, he would make fun of that guy so bad. And I felt so sorry for the guy because Randy was just out mean about that guy. And it didn't occur to me that Randy saw sides of that guy that I did not. Because, guys are guys in gym class and they're not on their best behavior. And so Randy knew things about guys that I did not. At any rate, so I was thinking he should be meeting and everything. And one day in December, I allowed the guy to walk me home. That guy attempted to put me in places they did not belong. And they were definitely invading my space and my territory. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's the end of that cross. Yeah, no, that's not the guy for me. But I had already said yes to going to the military boat. I already bought my test. I already took it. So I wasn't going to take that back. So it's funny. When we come to Christmas break, over Christmas break, I get a letter from a guy that I've known since 7th grade who tells me, please don't be mad at me and please don't hurt me. I developed quite a reputation, you can tell. But I really have a crush on him, but I didn't feel the same way about him. So I wrote back and was as gentle as possible in rejecting him, and I'm sure it wasn't very gentle because I was not the most diplomatic in the things that I've said about him. I'm still not the most diplomatic. But anyway, I tried to get back from school. And Randy hasn't ever asked me out. He hasn't ever indicated that he wanted to go out with me. So we're sitting there after school, computer club again. It's on the wall. We're playing Merchant. I looked at him and I said, "So, when are you going to ask me out?" And there's this dead silence that seems to stretch forever. And I'm like, well, he's another one of those guys that doesn't see me that way. He just wants to be friends, and that's what I'm here. And I didn't realize how insane I was doing, but perspective.
Whataburger's better, Ted.
He looks at me and goes, "Oh, you want to go out?" I'm like, "Yes, but before I say that, there's 3 things you ought to know." And he's like, "Okay." So the first thing and the most important thing is that if you ever hit me, it will be the last thing that you ever do. So don't do it. My mother hit me, my grandmother hit me, and nobody else is going to do it. He's like, "Okay." Second thing you need to know is I said yes to going to the military ball with Clint Majors. It's this Saturday. I bought my dress. I have my hair done. I'm not taking it back. So if you have a problem, there's a problem. But no, it's fine. And I don't remember what the third thing was right now. I'm sure it was important. I don't remember. But those 2 things I do. And he didn't flinch. He didn't hesitate. He was just like, "Okay." And that was it. We were going out. He became the first, longest boyfriend I had ever had in my entire 7th and 8th grade year. We started that first week of January, we went straight through until after March. And in February, I gave him a book for a Valentine's Day present, which was the Moriarty's Ride from the current series, science fiction fantasy. And that was my thing. Books. That was our love language in my house. We were Catholic, but I think if there was an 8th sacrament, it was "Thou shalt be." Everybody had their own bookshelf. Everybody had their own books. Books were books for everything. So naturally, I gave him a book for Valentine's Day. And he took me to the Valentine's dance. And one of the things that I appreciated and admired a lot about him was the fact that my little brother was a peanut. He was a pain in the ass to everybody. Everybody gave that kid a hard time, and I was constantly apologizing. But not Randy. Randy took him on the room and I protected him. There was a grilled shirt at the Valentine's dance that literally picked him up and dumped him on his head on the dance floor. But his parents were rich, so nothing ever happened to him. And but Randy went after that guy and made sure that he got dealt with. And pretty much he was my guardian angel and heaven's guardian angel. And even when I broke up with him, which I did in March, he gave me his phone number. He said, "If you ever need me, no matter where you are, or how far, just call me and I'll be there." And I thought that, I took that as a sign that he didn't actually care, that he wasn't really interested, because he hadn't tried to do any of the things that I was used to guys doing with a girl. So he wasn't really interested. Technology was respectful, and I didn't know how to interpret that. And then, one day I'm sitting on it, just after I broke up with him. He never acted like he changed anything. He would treat me differently. He didn't stop me my friend. He wasn't petty. But he did start harassing me about I was going to marry him. And he would bring me, like one time he made stationery with our names on it. So this was two friends and he's teasing me, "You're going to make me." I said, no. And at one point in time, it must have annoyed his little friends because one of the guys goes, "You do realize chances of you guys actually getting up married is slim to none." Just like, we missed out on that. This was more of a thing, but one of the things that was really special, which kind of really taught me who he was at its core. I was sitting on the wall talking to him after school. This girl comes out. She was quite well endowed for somebody of her age. And there were like 5 or 6 guys slithering around with like peas around the flower. And I looked over and I said, "I wish guys would notice me like that." He looked at me and he just shut his foot. He's like, "You do realize they're only hanging around for a little bit, right?" It's like, "Do you want guys hanging around you for the sake of bragging and they notice your brains?" And it was the first time that somebody ever, some guy ever really told me that what was in my head and my heart was way more valuable than what was in my bra and my underwear. So, yeah. Didn't automatically change reverse course for us. I didn't immediately get up with him. I would take a summer, several other episodes. But yeah, that's why him. That's why him. Wow, I could talk today. That's why he got chosen over other guys that didn't.
Hey, everybody go out and sub to BBM. He needs a couple more subs to hit 100, by the way.
He valued me and not what was available to him.
So there you go. It was story time with Brandy and Ubi today. That was a good stream. Everybody thank Brandy.
BBM, unfortunately, so I can't add to that number.
Everybody thank Brandy for coming on and joining us today. And regaling stories while I played guitar for you. Bye-bye, Brandy. Boom. There she goes. No, we cannot Photoshop sound. I've tried, though. Man, have I tried. Yeah, that was a great stream today. That was a lot of... we played some pretty good tracks. We had some great stories. Everybody heard the story of how Ubi and Brandy met. The stories of her giving me scars, which is funny. If you need to, go back and watch the replay. All that is in there. So yeah, we're gonna call it a stream for today. Thank everybody for joining us. And man, you guys all rock. Thanks, Brian, for the tip. We'll use that and go have some dinner. Or some lunch. That's it is not just it's the original ST1 Malachi. The difference though is I got a little secret down here in the bridge. Let me get the angle right. There it is. That's a Seymour Duncan Black Winter in the bridge. That's why it sounds as aggressive as it does, but also as articulate when I'm playing the softer stuff back there. So yeah, we're gonna call that a stream. Appreciate everybody who stopped by. Don't forget, we got a Patreon down the links below. If you want to leave a tip, crazy just like Brian did, there's also the link for that down in there. Want to give a shout out to all of the Patreons. Don't forget, BBM has a live stream coming up in about half an hour. Drop a link for that, BBM. So people will have that. And like I said, I want to switch over, give shout out to all of the paid members on Patreon. You can become a member yourself. Oh, hang on. Got a tip incoming.
Gaber tipped $10. At Roy Gaber tipped $10. Got you back, Roy.
I have a feeling we have some shenanigans going in the tipping over there. We have a anonymous supporter who is in the VIP tier. Thank you very much for that. Rob F. up in the front row. Brian and Steve in General Mission. We have Sean and Brant. And we have a newcomer I have not added out in the parking lot. I believe that person is... Hang on. Let me pull it up. I know it's in here. Ted. Brother Ted became part of the parking lot. I need to add his name to that list. Where is it at? Patreon supporters. And life. Boom. Ted is now a member in the Patreon as well. So thank you very much for joining me today. We had a great stream, and we'll see everybody this weekend. Keith and I and a potential special guest on his live stream on Saturday at noon. BBM's got a live stream coming up here in just a little bit. And we'll see everybody back around on Monday for a big Monday night show like we normally have. Thank you all so much for being on my guitar journey. You all rock, and we will see everybody soon.